Well, boys and girls, here we are.
Buffaloes and bunnies.
Buffaloes and bunnies, whatever. Vertebrates and invertebrates I've gone with here recently, so because I want to cover everybody.
Yep.
And of course, I'm leaving out plants, aren't I?
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, I'm trying to get
I don't know if plants really watch your show. They probably want to focus on gathering that sunlight.
Well, there are some potted plants that are in my chat all the time. The famous Angelo potted plant lord.
Right.
When you talk to them about an evolutionary pathway, yeah, there are other Christians I've run into that have a certain look that they get when you try to explain something to them.
Rebecca's smile, I believe.
Oh yeah, I wasn't going to say her name, but now that you did,
well,
she was what I was
said
thinking.
it, so you didn't say it, I said it.
You said it because it's just like you can just tell that it's just bouncing right off there, you know.
Yeah.
Like I don't even think it touches their face, let alone their eyeballs or ears. It just bounces off somewhere about 6 inches before it hits them, you know.
You're saying she has like a built-in force field around her.
Force field, yeah, that just denies any reasoning. Oh, that's just a story. It's like, okay.
Speaking of plants, did you get that picture?
Oh, you mean the
horsetail?
The horsetail?
Yes, equisetum.
Well, I'm gonna have to slip over and unplug my camera in order to get my microscope camera to work.
Okay.
Well, I'll try here. Let me just grab my phone. Maybe it'll pop up.
Put you on the spot like that.
Maybe it'll pop up.
Or maybe I did.
You did. Okay. So the first thing that we should talk about is the amusing. Let me see here. Where are we here? YouTube. Okay. So,
YouTube, good old YouTube.
Okay, You Curious basically had a video out entitled James Webb Telescope Discovery of Galaxies That Shatters the Big Bang Theory. And that came out August 20th, 2022.
I think we did a rant on that one a while back.
Right. And so now the same channel just 8 hours ago put out James Webb Telescope finally finds proof of the Big Bang.
Which is the turn there.
180 degrees. I mean, what? Okay, well, at least they caught their error. So
right.
My goodness. And then we found this one on another channel. Let's see, what's the name of this channel? Cosmos Lab. James Webb Telescope just proved the Big Bang Theory wrong. That's the one you wanted to review, right?
Yeah. Do you want to go over this one first or your intelligent design one?
No, the intelligent design one's might be a little longer, and I'm not sure when I'm going to run out of steam.
Okay.
I just went for I was going to go for a short stroll in the woods, but I ended up crossing a swamp, and then I ended up on a trail, and then I wanted to see the end of the trail, and then the end of the trail turned out to be 1.5 miles, and that put me about 2.5 miles in the woods. And so I'm pretty exhausted right now.
Today you'll be crossing the swamp, 3.5 miles. Tomorrow you'll be climbing Mount Everest.
Yeah. I was like coming. I was about 2 miles from, or 1.5 miles from the landing, where I could hitch a ride with my son. And I was thinking, I wonder if an ambulance can get back here on this path.
Oh,
Anyway,
that bad, huh?
yeah. So I texted Gur while I was out there, and I just said, "Gur suck."
There's no you in there.
Huh?
There was no you in between.
No, just Gur suck.
You're suck.
Gur suck. Yeah. That's all I could manage. I was like exhausted. I just crawled out
Yeah.
of the woods. I had branches in my hair and like fucking, mud all over me. And I grabbed my phone and I typed "Gur suck."
Well, at least you're safe from the predator.
Yeah. They couldn't see me. Yep. Ooh.
Oh,
And
hey, Nestle.
I sat on a log and I lifted up a piece of bark on an old dead log. And there were like 40 different beetles and spiders and bugs that flew off. I'm going to go out there with my little portable vacuum cleaner and vacuum a bunch of those up.
Well, everyone knows Charles Darwin was really into beetles.
Yep. There are a whole bunch of them.
I think I don't know if it's anecdotal or not, or if it's just a story, but I think one time he had two beetles, I think he said, in his hands, and then he had another beetle below him that he really wanted to also catch. So he put that one in his mouth, and then
Oh my God.
him losing all three, of course. So, like I said, I don't know if that's just apocryphal, but
wow. Yeah, there were some spiders with the beetles, and in fact, one of the beetles was hauling away a dead spider. That was pretty interesting.
The beetle was hauling away a spider?
Yeah, a big, huge dead spider.
Was it did it look like a tiger beetle?
He ran off so fast I didn't get a look at him. He dove under the bark, and then I just saw the dead spider that he had left there. It erupted some process. I'm not sure what he was doing. So, but he was definitely carrying that spider like an ant, which is kind of weird. So I don't know. But yeah, so Bree is questioning beetles and spiders. I'm wondering if they hang out together that often.
Maybe.
They probably don't. Okay. So yeah, we could. You want to listen to this thing or?
Sure. Looks like Nestlig's in the chat. He put something there. I don't know. Should we let him in if he wants to say something, or what do you think?
Yeah, I can.
You have his email, right?
Yeah, because I'm sort of half here, so I have no idea.
Yeah, that's what. The more, the merrier.
Well, no. If it gets Nestlig's the last person that's getting in because we don't need no fucking Mary right now. We never get anywhere if we have too many people in the room, and then it just becomes a shit show. We never actually address anything. James Webb Telescope never disproved the Big Bang. Oh, that's that Keith Cooper article about here's all the falsehood spread. That's what.
The space.com, yeah.
Yep.
James Webb Space Telescope science denial.
Okay, I'm going to play this, and then I'm going to go send an email. Okay?
Okay.
Before its launch last year, the James Webb Space Telescope was avidly awaited. However, now that the most powerful and expensive telescope ever built is operational, the JWST is threatening to turn astronomy on its head with a single discovery. The latest JWST images have revealed that the Big Bang Theory did not occur, driving the scientific community into a fury. What are the most recent JWST images? How do the images demonstrate that the Big Bang Theory was erroneous?
Yeah. Okay, I just want to note the wording there. This single discovery disproves this entire scientific theory, or it's like the same exact thing you see in journalism, popular science articles. Like, this was discovered today that disproves this entire other idea, and like, no, that's not how any of this works.
Right.
And I think it might actually be a good idea to, instead of discussing it in that context of, oh, there's this new revolutionary data point that we found, instead talk about all the science papers that have been like retracted over the years, and maybe it will become less of a, what's the word I'm looking for? This less of a less extreme, I guess. Yeah, less what was that?
Less of a cherry that they
Yeah,
can pick.
less of a cherry, basically, to pick from.
Yep. Well, the that interesting thing where they said James Webb Telescope finally finds proof of the Big Bang right after they said that the James Webb Telescope shatters the Big Bang theory
Right.
on the same channel.
Right.
Those are worth. I'm going to link both of those because
Right.
there's an interesting story behind that. Did you watch the new one that they just put out 8 hours ago?
No, not yet.
Oh, okay.
I just saw it and I was like, oh, they put out a completely opposite video.
Yep. Should I proceed?
Sure.
Join us as we explore how the James Webb Space Telescope eventually disproved the Big Bang Theory. How much may a telescope cost? In this aspect, the James Webb Space Telescope set a new record. With a WST was also an engineering challenge because it had to build as it traveled to its permanent location. And
I'm moving ahead. Is that good?
that was not even the riskiest part of the launch. And saw repair, yet outweighed by the positive benefits. It promises to increase our understanding of the outside universe in a way that no other scientific tool has done. As a result, scientists from all over the world have been waiting in line to utilize the huge telescope to explore space ever since it was declared operational. But none of them were ready for one of the terrible surprises the telescope had in store for them right away. After
Okay.
only a few weeks of operation, the
Anakin. Okay, I just want to note the little twist, the little twist and turn there again with the language, because at one point they're saying, okay, this is a brand new telescope. It's going to increase our understanding of the universe. It's going to do wondrous things for the field of astronomy, which of course is what it's doing. And then about 5 seconds later, they're talking about, oh, but it was a terrible surprise. No one expected. Well, of course, there was going to be some unexpected results. That's what we built it for.
Exactly what they wanted, right? Unexpected results. New things, for God's sake.
So already you can kind of see the language here is a bit inconsistent.
Yep. Okay.
AWST has already produced images that refute the theory of the Big Bang. Thanks to the success of the hit TV show The Big Bang Theory, the Big Bang has become the gospel where astronomy is concerned. And many people...
What the hell?
Do we want to replay that part?
Why did he bring up the TV show?
Apparently they think the Big Bang Theory is the major theory today because of the TV show that was named after. What?
After only a few weeks of operation, the JWST has already produced images that refute the theory of the Big Bang. Thanks to the success of the hit TV show The Big Bang Theory, the Big Bang has become the gospel where astronomy is concerned. And many...
Wait a minute. Wait. What? So he's claiming that the Hollywood basically influenced astronomers to...
maybe saying it influenced all the public? What? I'm so confused. What is he even talking about?
Very confusing. Okay, who the fuck is
people
this
explain the origins of the universe using the Big Bang. The Big Bang Theory has its origins in the work of a priest turned astronomer named George Lemaitre, who in 1927 had the revolutionary notion that the cosmos...
Like, this is what I'm talking. At one point, he's saying, "Oh, everyone accepts it because of this TV show." Oh, never mind. Everyone accepts it because of the actual person who came up with it.
In what, 1920 or something?
Yeah, the late 1920s. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a long time ago. 100 years ago. Okay.
Once began as a single point. He claimed that the universe had expanded and stretched to its current size so that it could continue to do so. Lemaitre's concept was improved upon a few years later by renowned astronomer Edwin Hubble, for whom the Hubble Space Telescope was named. Hubble found that other galaxies were moving from us and that the distant galaxies were traveling more quickly than the nearby galaxies. The astronomer concluded from this that the universe was still expanding, as Lemaitre had hypothesized. In essence, if things were moving apart, it signified that previously everything had been closer together. You see, when the universe first began, it was only hot microscopic particles intermingled with light and energy, according to the Big Bang theory. However, as everything expanded and took up more room, the temperature dropped. The tiny particles then clumped together to form atoms, which then clumped together over time to form the stars and...
Sorry, go back a few seconds. I hear what he... That wording was a little...
Everything expanded and took up more room, the temperature dropped. The tiny particles then clumped together to form atoms, which
Hold
then...
on a second. I don't know about you, but that's not how gas physics works. You don't cool off something by taking up more of the given volume. That's the opposite of what the Big Bang Theory says. As things expand, they take up there's the density of the universe effectively goes down. So per unit volume, there's less stuff, there's less gas and energy, if you will, and so the temperature decreases. So kind of the opposite of what he's saying here. I didn't actually catch that before.
That was pretty simplistic. I don't know.
Right.
So anyway, yeah, Scott, come on in if you want. Anyway, okay. Scott just woke up.
Did you send the email yet?
I did. I just put the link to this video in the description, and I got some more. Yeah, I got some more to do. So
dropped. The tiny particles then clump together to form atoms, which then clump together over time to form the stars and galaxies we see today. Those early stars produced larger atoms and groupings of atoms, which resulted in the birth of more stars. At the same time, galaxies collided and merged in a chaotic cosmic display. Other things such as asteroids, comets, planets, and black holes formed as new stars were born and perished. All of this happened over the course of 14 billion years. But what if the Big Bang did not occur? While many scientists may be reluctant to contemplate this possibility because the idea has been a mainstay of modern astronomy, the JWST is unrepentant with its most recent series of images. While the general public may be captivated by the JWST's spectacular images, scientists are battling to explain their inconsistency with the theory of the Big Bang. The trouble with the images is that they show numerous galaxies that are shockingly smooth, small, and old. But why do smooth, small, and old galaxies contradict the Big Bang theory?
Well, here's another inconsistency. Like the first, third of this video is talking about evidence in favor of the Big Bang model. That, namely, that the universe is expanding, and so logically, it must have been smaller, hotter, and denser in the past because everything was closer together. He literally just explained that, and now he's saying, oh, but these new ideas are inconsistent, therefore what I previously talked about must be wrong. Like, you see what I'm saying here? Like, this entire video so far is, at one point he says X, and then later on he says not X. He's contradicting himself at every turn here. It's kind of hilarious.
His fire must purify you. Yeah, that's what happens when you.
Hasn't he been in the side chat before?
Huh?
Hasn't he been in the side chat before?
Blessed be he. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I've seen him around. He's just gone into, or maybe she has gone into apocalypse mode.
Yeah, scientists are wrong. Oh my God, scientists are wrong about something. Oh no.
Hey Scott, how are you doing?
Yeah. Anyway,
I'm doing fine. I took a long nap. Don't feel that much more alert.
Well, you were napping. I was walking.
Apparently so. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
hiking my ass off.
And basically, you walked to the end of Minnesota or something.
Yeah. Now I got no ass. I walked to the end of the trail. There was a big paved trail, big enough for an ambulance. it's big enough for an ambulance, which makes me comfortable.
That's good.
And I
That's good.
got to the end of that trail, and I'd never
there's probably
seen
some sort of city or county ordinance that says all walking trails must be wide enough for an ambulance to pick up collapsed senior
That'd be
citizens.
smart, though. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, it's a good thing.
You never know.
Oh, the other day they had a bow hunt down there with with idiots with bow and arrows. So an ambulance might have been necessary.
Oh.
True.
Yeah. Anyway, my neighbor was walking with his son, and he heard this guy talking to them, and he looks around like, where the hell is he? He was up in a tree with a bow and said, "Hey, we're having a bow hunt today. You may not want to walk here. You look like a deer."
You look kind of like a deer. Hey, Andrew, what's your birthday?
July.
Of what year?
2003.
What day?
God. The 21st.
Social security number?
Credit card.
Oh my gosh! This Andrew is only 7,014 days old.
Oh my God! What a punk!
2014. Oh, okay.
7,014.
Oh no! Holy shit!
Man, I feel so old now.
Oh. I feel so superior. 26,203. Superior.
Yeah.
That's,
we need to get somebody's old coot great grandfather on here to outdo Speed on the number of days old, so he won't be so insufferable.
You're about 8-ish times older than I am in terms of days, Speed.
Something like that, yeah.
Something like that, yeah.
And all that means is I dated all you mamas. Keep that in mind.
I think he's between 3 and 4 times as old, not 8.
Really?
26,202 today.
Yeah, so it's 7,000 times 4 is like 28,000.
Why did I think you said 60,000 for some reason?
Oh my God!
Yeah, that would make him older than
200
most people.
years old. But you've never even seen the 20th century, Andrew. You have no idea what the 20th century was like.
Man.
Nope.
I mean, like, okay, the 20th century from the 1920s, the roaring 20s, up to at least the 90s was just like nonstop party, man. It was like a big party, and you missed the whole thing. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Oh, well. The boring 21st century. Okay, I'm going to play this.
Let's start with the too small angle. Assuming the cosmos is growing, a strange optical illusion must exist. The truth is that galaxies and other naturally occurring objects in space do not appear smaller and smaller with increasing distance. Actually, after a certain point, they should become larger and larger. If you're wondering why, consider this. It's because their brightness is supposed to have left them. They got closer to us. This is the reverse of what we see in non-expanding space, where objects appear smaller in proportion to their distance. The fact that smaller galaxies are seen in the JWST images cannot
kind of
be
explained that a little weird. So I think what he was trying to explain there was this relationship between the redshift, aka the distance, and the angular size of these galaxies, which it's kind of non-intuitive to think about, but basically because these instead of thinking about the universe in terms of its volume, if you want to think about it in terms of us at this one point in space throughout the history of the universe, just to make things simplistic, and we're looking out into the sky, basically. If you were to rewind the clock back, so to speak, at a certain point, those galaxies, of course, were closer together, so they were closer to us, which means since the universe was smaller in volume, they would have proportionally taken up more of the sky compared to the amount they do today. And that means basically that compared to a non-expanding universe, basically the light that was emitted from them at that moment they now look larger compared to nearby galaxies. Sorry, I might have explained that just as poorly, but this is basically what he's talking about here. It's this fact that as the universe expands, galaxies kind of take up less and less of the sky, basically, and so that's kind of what's causing this effect. At a certain point, they actually start looking larger on the sky, their angular size compared to nearby local galaxies.
So if they found really small galaxies that were, looked very tiny, why would that be a problem? Isn't that what he said they found?
Right.
Like tiny galaxies?
Well, I think he's about to go over this, but in these people's minds, and in particular Eric Lerner's, the guy who came up with these claims, if they were very tiny and structured to begin with, and according to the Big Bang model, they must have collided and merged with each other in this hierarchical manner to grow larger and larger into the galaxies we see today, then how in his mind that they couldn't have done that if they were so small to begin with and so structured to begin with, which doesn't really follow, but that's kind of the claim he's making, basically.
Okay.
Astronomers who have studied them. These images show galaxies to be 2 to 3 times smaller than in images taken with the Hubble Space Telescope of galaxies with luminosity and mass higher than the Milky Way galaxy. The redshifts of the new galaxies are likewise 2 to 3 times higher. It is not expected for an expanding universe to act in this manner.
I do want to note, however, that the galaxies that were resolved with the Hubble telescope to a good enough degree, basically, you could tell that they were spiral galaxies, for example. Basically, when the James Webb came along and looked at those galaxies as well, it basically saw what Hubble saw, pretty much. So where they looked at the same thing in the same amount of sensitivity, they saw the same thing. So that's a good indicator that Hubble and James Webb aren't completely in conflict. Basically, where James Webb is going is where Hubble didn't have enough sensitivity, obviously. Right. So there's not a complete disagreement here, basically.
If it is considered that the universe is not expanding and that redshift is proportionate to distance, the galaxies that the JWST reveals are exactly the same size as the galaxy that is nearest to us. To make up for the posited optical illusion, the Big Bang suggests that these distant galaxies must be intrinsically incredibly small. One, the GHZ2, has a substantially higher luminosity than the Milky Way. However, based on calculations, its estimated radius is only 300 light years, or 150 times less than the Milky Way's. Its surface brightness, or brightness in terms of area, would be 600 times greater than the brightness of the nearest galaxy. Its density...
Okay, so can you unpack that? What did they really...
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, what did they really find?
Well, I haven't checked those numbers specifically, but yeah, basically, just a little background here. The surface brightness of a galaxy is basically it's how much light it's putting off per its surface area, basically, as the name suggests. So if the universe were not expanding, then the galaxies going further and further back in time, or farther and farther distance from us, they would be smaller. Why am I blinking out on this now? But basically, in a non-expanding universe, their surface brightness would appear constant, whereas in an expanding universe, it would decrease. And that's in fact what we see, that their surface brightness decreases proportional to redshift.
Okay.
So basically what he's talking about here is something called the Tolman surface brightness test. which is one of these tests in order to verify that the universe is indeed expanding beyond just the redshift distance relationship. And it is true basically that in order for this kind of magnification effect to still be happening, they'd have to be intrinsically very small. And that's not as much a problem as some people think, because we know that galaxies, of course, change over time, but we would expect the first stars in those galaxies to be very large and very hot and very luminous, because if you go into the physics of it, of course, there is only hydrogen and helium right after the Big Bang. And it turns out if you have only a small amount of what are called metals, basically elements heavier than helium, it basically causes the stars to form at a much smaller mass, basically. So if you don't have those metals, if they're just hydrogen and helium, we expect the stars to be very large and therefore very hot and luminous, because they're fusing their hydrogen.
Whoops.
What was that, Scott? Jesus Christ.
I thought I was muted. I
That's
apologize,
okay.
but sometimes we have to do extreme things to breathe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Still sounds like a kazoo. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's try to get through this.
Yeah.
Okay, if I play this and go get snack, so I'm going to step away for just a minute, so I'm going to let it play, okay?
Okay, my
Okay.
nose is calm. It shouldn't cause any problems from
Okay,
here on out.
I'm glad it all worked out for you, Scott.
I can breathe good, okay?
Okay, good.
I
I'm
can
happy.
breathe good.
I'm happy for you breathing.
Velocity would be thousands of times greater than that of the galaxies we can currently observe. What about the smoothness of galaxies? What impact does that have on the Big Bang Theory? The presence of the tiny, incredibly dense galaxies, known as Mighty Mouse galaxies, is necessary for the Big Bang Theory to be accurate. JWST has made the problem far worse. According to the theory, the small galaxies develop into the present-day galaxies by smashing into one another, which causes them to merge as they expand out.
I'm back. I'm back with a snack.
Imagine a magical little car that is a centimeter long but weighs as much as an SUV to illustrate this type of merger. Further, imagine it crashing into numerous other magical cars as it develops into a real SUV. This is the point at which the JWST images start to undermine the theory of the Big Bang. Even though the initially seemed...
I don't know if he's doing it on purpose, but it's almost as if he's using the car analogy to make it sound more ridiculous than it actually is. Because cars, of course, are very complex. They got all these intricate parts. And of course, if you smash them together, they're not going to build something really looks like a car.
Is this a creation science, CRI production or something?
I'm not sure, to be honest. It just says the Big Bang is wrong. So yeah.
There's no.
Well, of course, that that Eucurious site also said the Big Bang.
Yeah, or like I said, it's all coming from this guy Eric Lerner, who originally made this article, and that's where they're getting this information from. Because it was, I think, spread through social media. So.
Okay.
Unbelievable, you should at least anticipate seeing some fender benders in the colliding cars. Therefore, proponents of the Big Bang Theory anticipated finding galaxies with significant scars or rough edges from the impact they experienced or survived. However, the JWST's revelation of extraordinarily smooth disks and perfect spiral patterns caught them off guard. Their appearance is identical to that of current galaxies. Data revealed that there were almost 10 times as many smooth spiral galaxies in the images than the theory expected. This casts doubt on the notion that galaxy mergers occur frequently. In other words, this information refutes the merger theory. Now, what happens when galaxy mergers are...
I want to go over this, but it's so in depth, and we've gone over it so many times before. I would just suggest watching those videos again to kind of summarize it real quick. Basically, no, this claim is just wrong. One, they're like he even stated, they're not all spiral galaxies. Like, we still see these mergers way back then. And I think even the author of that paper admitted this, and I've got screenshots of that. I've showed that before. I guess the one new thing I want to say is that galaxies don't just grow through mergers alone. In fact, probably in the early universe, as I understand it, there would have been a lot of gas and dust around because everything was closer together. Not all of it had congealed into galaxies, basically. And so you can basically think of them as kind of like a sponge soaking up this gas and dust around them through gravity. And that's one way they can form. Another way they can form besides mergers is through just the gas and dust they already have and using that to form new stars. So there are I guess 2 points. That one, there is evidence for mergers, so he's just wrong there. And two, mergers aren't the only way galaxies can grow over time, as far as the early universe at least.
Yep.
So I'll just say that for now.
Okay. I'm linking these other two videos. Maybe we should just play this video.
Is this the proof of the Big Bang one?
Yeah, the description says, no, the James Webb Telescope did not prove the Big Bang Theory wrong. If anything, it has proved that the Big Bang Theory actually happened,
Okay.
which came out today. So
right.
I just got to link it here and put it in my description. So we are honest people.
Oh, did I say it came out yet? I guess it did come out today. I don't know why I think it came out yesterday.
Yep. And here's the one that came out on August 20th, where they said James Webb Telescope of discovery of galaxies that shatters the Big Bang Theory. So they completely reverse themselves on the same channel. The You Curious videos. There's two of them, and I put them in my description. So should we play? Do you want to go through more of this guy?
I don't know. What do you, the audience, want? Should we go on to the next video?
Yeah, the video.
Like we've talked about this pretty much.
Yeah, I think.
Type of one in the side chat if you want to.
One or two.
Go on to another video. Two, if you want to stay with this video.
Finish this one.
So number one.
Wait a minute. Who said this is a fucking democracy?
Somebody asked about the side chat, so.
Oh, okay.
I want to give the people what they want.
Oh, leave it to Jason Jacoby. I'm down for whatever.
Yeah,
I'm asking for a binary decision, and he has to throw in a third option. Thank you, Jason Jacoby. So we have some twos.
Okay.
And two, what does two mean?
Two meant to continue with this video.
All right. I guess we can finish this one and then go on to the other one if we have time.
Oh my goodness. Okay, let's do it.
I guess we can cross-compare them, basically.
Let's give the people what they want.
Yep.
And don't fucking complain when we do. Okay?
The thing is that galaxies cannot become so massive without merging. This implies that larger galaxies have always been enormous and have never been small. It also implies that the optical illusion that the expanding universe theory predicted does not exist, since the absence of illusion indicates the absence of expansion. The illusion is an unavoidable prediction from expansion. Next, let's examine the two historical aspects.
I'm fairly confused.
So this is basically this big contrived argument, and multiple ways to tackle it, and the fact that he contradicted himself earlier with, oh, this is predicted by expansion, but oh, we have this other thing that we have seen that is also predicted by expansion. And it's just, like I was saying backstage, it's a beautiful train wreck. It's an artistic train wreck.
Okay.
Anyway.
This is actually similar or the same as too many. The JWST uses a variety of filters to capture images in the infrared region of the spectrum. Astronomers can see the colors of far-off galaxies thanks to this. Basically, astronomers use it to determine how old the stars are in these galaxies. Older, cooler stars are yellow or red in color, whereas young, scorching stars are blue. According to the Big Bang Theory, the most distant galaxies in the JWST images are currently visible as they were 400 to 500 million years after the universe's creation. But some of these galaxies have star populations that are more than 1 billion years old. These galaxies prove that there was no Big Bang since nothing could have existed before it. Since there can't be a galaxy older than the Big Bang, the more backward the JWST scans, the fewer galaxies it should observe if the Big Bang Theory is correct. It would eventually stop observing galaxies or descend into the dark ages of the cosmos. However, scientists are showing that even 100 million years after the alleged Big Bang, galaxies as huge as the Milky Way are widespread. The new JWST images, according to the scientists, show at least 100,000.
I don't know where they got that number from. I'm gonna have to go back and check that.
Like when I heard the initial reports, I didn't find that many galaxies that were that old, right? I mean, they found a few.
Even he's talking about like these big, massive galaxies. Like, yeah, they did find some, but you know why those are such big headlines nowadays? Because they're still a relatively small sample of them, and like that's why every time you hear a news report saying, "Oh, we found a Milky Way-sized galaxy this far back in the universe," well, that's why it gets so much attention, because we're still looking for these and we haven't found all of them yet.
Yeah. Okay. We got a few minutes left.
And times as many galaxies as theories predicted at redshift greater than 10, suggesting that many massive galaxies may have formed rapidly. That suggests there was no Big Bang, which is highly implausible. Let's stop here and consider what might happen if the scientific community acknowledged the Big Bang theory's flaws.
I just want to, I've said this so many times, but I feel like it needs repeating, just because our galaxy formation models are flawed, and we already knew that they were flawed because
we didn't have enough info
data from these early times. That's why we built James Webb to begin with. That does not follow that the Big Bang as a whole is wrong, because we have the data from the cosmic microwave background, and I do want to note that the cosmic microwave background is not just, it confirms the Big Bang and we're done with it. No, it contains a huge wealth of information, and I encourage everyone in the chat to look into that if you want to start. There are some good videos from PBS Space Time that go over it. If you're interested, basically talking about how the very, very, very small fluctuations in the cosmic microwave background that were initially predicted by the Big Bang model actually show how some of these things happen, and how we know all this stuff about dark matter and dark energy. So it's pretty interesting, and it goes well beyond just what the person is talking about here, and even what they're implying.
Yep. Okay.
Then a new explanation for the origin of the cosmos must exist. Plasma filamentation, which has been probed for about 50 years, is one plausible reason. In fact, this process may be explained by applying physical principles found in laboratories. The majority of the matter in space, including stars and interstellar space, is made of plasma, an electrically conducting gas. Only the Hubble redshift relation would still require a brand new physical process to account for the energy loss that occurs as light travels over such vast distances. Plasma filamentation is one of the fundamental processes in plasmas that scientists have recognized and researched. This is the process by which electric currents and the magnetic fields they generate drew plasma into the lacy network of filaments observed at all scales across the universe. Plasma filamentation is one of the fundamental processes that gave rise to planets, stars, galaxies, and other structures. Plasma filamentation is also critical in the effort to create artificial fusion energy. The JWST is simply doing its job by introducing us to new ways of viewing the universe. It is already causing scientists to speculate on what would happen if the Big Bang did not take place. Let us know what you think about the Big Bang Theory's
no. Just no.
Okay.
I could have said more there, but I feel like we should move on to this other video.
Yeah, this one is 8 minutes and 21 seconds long. So
is it shorter? A little shorter.
And this is apparently a rebuttal to one of their earlier videos from August, September, October. Is it really October after September? No shit. Okay, 2 months ago.
Yeah, about 2 months.
Okay.
1985. The Hubble Space Telescope was still 5 years away from launching on a space shuttle. Although nervous, the scientific community was excited. Hubble would revolutionize the way we saw the universe. Science Institute told his team that they should start thinking what would come after Hubble, much further down the road. Concept ideas for what was then known as the Next Generation Space Telescope. New telescope arose in 1995. Attention would be a waste of resources, revealing at best a handful of dim galaxies, but instead the effort was richly rewarded. The resulting image, the Hubble Deep Field, showed the empty spot was actually filled with galaxies by the thousands, stretching back 12 billion years into the 13.8 billion year history of our universe. There were galaxies everywhere. The Hubble Deep Field showed that the early universe was even more crowded and exciting than most anyone had expected, offering observational treasures to the scientific community. Yet, impressive as Hubble's deep field was, astronomers wanted more. And after more than 2 decades of labor, at a cost of some $10 billion, the James Webb Space Telescope finally launched on Christmas Day 2021. By July 2022, the telescope had reached its deep space destination, and its instruments had been put through their paces, and shortly after, its long-awaited first year of science observations began. When Webb released its first set images, it proved that it was worth the wait. It showed us the universe like never before. It showed us that the universe as we know it might be stranger and more complex. The Big Bang Theory as we know it started to tremble. Or did it? Welcome to You Curious? Discover more, know more. First, the basics. According to the inflation theory, in the first second after the Big Bang, our universe was an almost inconceivably hot and dense soup of primordial particles. Over the next 3 minutes, as the cosmos expanded and cooled, the nuclei of helium and other very light elements began to form. Fast forward 400,000 years, and the universe was cold enough for the first atoms to appear. When the universe was about 100 million years old, conditions were finally right for the emergence of the first stars. These giant fireballs were larger and brighter than today's stars, and these first suns coalesced in proto-galaxies, which eventually merged to form larger galaxies. This process of becoming, of the early universe's chaos, giving way to the more orderly cosmos we know today, is thought to have taken about 1 billion years. And this is where Webb enters the scene and toys with our cosmology. All right, story time. Rowan Naidu was sitting at home when he found a galaxy that started the Webb Big Bang debate. As his algorithm dug through early images from the James Webb Space Telescope, Naidu shot to attention. It had spotted an object that on closer inspection was inexplicably massive and dated back to just 300 million years after the Big Bang, older than any galaxy ever seen before. Older than what our understanding of the first galaxies of the universe, which we once thought emerged 1 billion years after the Big Bang. At that moment, Rowan knew that it might be the most distant star.
What's that?
Sorry, rewind. I want to hear that again.
Okay.
Just a few seconds. All right.
Any galaxy ever seen before. Older than what our understanding of the first galaxies of the universe, which we once thought emerged 1 billion years after the Big Bang. At that moment.
No. where is that number coming from?
I don't know.
I don't think anyone claimed galaxies themselves already had to form all at once a billion years after the Big Bang. Like, of course we knew that galaxies existed way before then. So I'm not sure what they're getting at there.
I don't know.
But I don't know. Maybe they slipped up.
That's where the controversy started. So
yeah.
Anyway.
Rowan knew that it might be the most distant starlight we had ever seen. The candidate galaxy, named Glass Z13, was beyond astronomers' wildest dreams. But this is where most of us declared that Webb has shattered the Big Bang. Well, not really. Years ago, Hubble gave us the same type of data. Hubble's record for the most distant known galaxy had been GNZ11, spotted in 2015, at a redshift of 11, which corresponds to a cosmic age of about 400 million years. Yes, the latest Webb observations do reveal some strange and unexpected things about the universe, but they don't prove the Big Bang wrong at all. If anything, it makes the Big Bang theory even stronger. In an expanding universe, all faraway points in space move further and further away from each other. As light travels from a distant galaxy, and with the universe continually expanding, the distance the light needs to travel is continually increasing as well. And as space stretches out underneath a beam of light, its wavelength increases, and its energy decreases. So, when light arrives from a distant point in space, it is stretched out, and far weaker. This means that the wavelength of the light is stretched, so the light is seen as shifted towards the red part of the spectrum. The higher the redshift, the further away an object is relative to the observer. Hubble and Webb's observations accurately align with the cosmological inflation, aka Big Bang's model. These old galaxies appear redder than they should, implying an expanding universe. Now, if we could go way back in time, you will see the galaxies coming together, until a point where everything in the universe is confined into one place, just as the Big Bang theory predicts. Not just that, the Big Bang theory accurately predicts how much of each element was made in the early universe. When astronomers look at very old galaxies and stars, the amount of each chemical they see agrees with the Big Bang theory. The so-called tired light hypothesis suggests a non-expanding universe, where light spontaneously loses energy over time. The tired light hypothesis is wrong though, because of the cosmic microwave background. A static, tired light universe wouldn't have any remnant heat from a primordial fireball. Not to mention the fact that distant galaxies would appear blurred, which they don't, and distant supernovae wouldn't be time-dilated by cosmic expansion, which they are. The only model that supports all the evidence is the Big Bang.
I feel like it's almost like this person is reading, because I've heard these exact same. The language here is like from other articles I've read.
Is it from this one? The Big
It
Bang
sounds like
theory
a text to voice.
Yeah, exactly. Like
Bot to me. So
I mean, like, it's still correct what they're saying. It's just I think it's interesting that before they were doing text audio from the Eric Lerner article, and now they're doing it from these other articles that say no, the Eric Lerner article was wrong.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just seems, like I said, that they're kind of switching to go along with the flow, which I guess is a good thing from our perspective, but it's also not. I don't know.
Well, we'll have to stay tuned.
Yeah.
Because the James Webb is pretty new yet. Got a lot more stuff happening. Okay, listen to the rest of this.
I think that's good. Yeah, I think we're okay.
Okay.
Pretty much the stuff we've heard before.
Good enough.
Which, again, doesn't get boring over time, but...
Look what I found.
Oh.
The end of the trail.
Ooh.
I think it's like 1.8 miles back there. Yep. And
You
then
know,
it turned
in Texas, that has a very ominous ring to it.
the end of the trail.
The end of the trail.
The end of the trail.
The end of the trail. Anyway. Yep. That's about all the energy I got. So we'll probably go over it on the weather report, but there's a little video by, where are we here?
The intelligent design one.
Yeah, the Intel. Behe and Meyer destroyed challenge to flagellum motor. And these guys are so arrogant and they're so idiotic in the things they say. But they say some pretty remarkable things like, okay, there's Behe and who's the other? Okay, Meyer says something, but those are just models. Yeah. Those, he says those are just like analogies, right? And like, what did you say? Because they're always using analogies, right? That's all they ever use is analogies. And he was.
What was he saying? Wait, what are the analogies here?
Oh, he was talking about. I forget where it was here. Let's see. It was.
Because I hope he's not talking about like how we found these same parts in bacteria that do other functions, or not just the as a flagellum altogether, because like how's that an analogy?
Whoever they were debating with had a let's see, he had an example where he showed how basically an irreducibly complex thing could pop up, and they were pushing back on that. I'm not sure
well, that's not really an analogy.
Well,
that's just
they might have been busting their analogy by using the same analogy and then just saying, but what if you did this, and using like a motor part or some other part of a boat or whatever.
Yeah.
So they might have been extending the analogy a little bit, but that's not the same as you're wrong about irreducible complexity not being evolvable. And I will be interested to see what they say on that.
Yeah. Anyway. And then they say really dumb things like if there are intermediate steps basically to go from one kind of protein to a protein that ends up fitting into some other thing, Behe is claiming that every step of the way is subject to natural selection and it has to be selected for, otherwise it wouldn't stick around. And that is just totally wrong. There's for one thing, in prokaryotes, there's operons, which take a whole lot of proteins with them when they translate. And if there are proteins that do nothing or basically neutral genes, right, they are going to be taken along. They're not subject to natural selection.
Subject to
other than that, they're going to be selected because they do within the operon, they have advantageous genes that are there, right? And so they're all going to be swept along, and they're going to.
It's interesting because Behe seems to be operating from this perspective that, like, we're still in the Darwinian
exactly right
phase, basically, that there's just natural selection and that there's nothing else.
Ago. Right, 200 years ago. Yeah, if it isn't advantageous, then it's not going to get selected for. Right. And it'll disappear, which
I mean, at this point, you can't really deny it that it's pretty much a straw man, because literally they're taking a model that no one accepts anymore and beating it up and claiming that they've destroyed evolution.
Yeah,
that is literally what a straw man is.
Yeah. Ooh, there's a swamp I walked across.
It doesn't look like a swamp.
Well, down if you follow that pipe down the hill, they built like a 6-lane highway right across the swamp, and took all this heavy machinery down there and put a gas pipeline across the Minnesota River. Anyway, they took up all the railroad ties. But the swamp, because we're in a drought, I ended up just getting my toes wet going across the swamp. And I walked all the way down there. I think you can see my cursor. So I walked all the way down there and found the path by the river. So I go from one path to another, and that's how I ended up on my Odyssey, which I'm going to pay for dearly tomorrow. I
in
went
terms
from
of
like
soreness?
I went from like walking 1.5 miles a day to walking 3.5 miles. So I added another 2 miles, and I didn't have good shoes on, so I might be in trouble.
Oh, maybe your muscles will get stronger.
Well, that would be a good thing. Yep, that could happen. Anyway, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, when I used to, train for a marathon, we would do, 6, 7, 8, maybe eventually up to 10-mile days. But then on the weekends, we would do a long day. So, if you do a long day once a week, your body will get adapted to it.
Yeah. Well, I could have sat in my chair and took a nap and sunk back into my depression, and I decided instead I was going to go out for a walk, and I feel
That's
pretty
really a good idea.
Well, I woke up from my long nap feeling invigorated and not invigorated at first because there's that whole waking up thing, but once I was able to wake up, I felt invigorated.
It's amazing what sleep does for you.
Now I just hope I don't have trouble going to sleep tonight because I didn't mean to take that long of a nap.
Yeah.
The first half of the nap started, I guess, when I was watching something on YouTube, and I must have fallen asleep during it. It was that Ben Glebe comedy video. So that thing finished, and I think I went through at least 2 more YouTube videos before I woke up.
Oh, pictures from my walk. There's a giant oak tree that fell over.
Oh, did you show the Equisetum earlier?
I've been trying to. It's not popping up. I don't know where the hell it went.
Wasn't it that right there?
Yeah, there it is. There's one right there. Okay, I did get a good one. Okay, that's it's right there if you can see it. I'm not sure if I can expand.
It's a lot thinner than I thought it would be.
Yeah, they don't have these. The ones that grow here don't have a whole lot of side leaves, or if they do, they've all fallen off. And in the fall, that's all that's left is the horsetail. So,
wait, they have leaves at one point?
They can get pretty fuzzy, but I'm not sure if these are the kind that do. I don't know. Some have like branches off on the sides.
Oh yeah, that's right. Because they don't have the big flat leaves. They have those little kind of
Yeah, this is a field of a whole
spikes.
bunch of them. You can kind of see them in here. They're you can't see them very well, but they're basically there's a whole bunch of them there, whole field of them, and that is itchweed. The flowering of itchweed.
Does it make you itch?
Stinging nettle, yeah. It's got oxalic acid in it.
Oh.
You did it again, Scott.
I did it again. I'm sorry. I got
that was better timing, though.
And here's a wonderful stream that flows into the Minnesota River, so you can kind of see the Minnesota River out there a little bit. It's one of the bridges. Yeah. And there's the bridge coming up on the bridge. And then there's a river bottom woods. This all floods out. So it kills a whole lot of foliage underneath those trees, and the trees manage to live. And it really looks kind of nice. So it's pretty cool. Pipeline crossing. Do not anchor. Okay, and there's the Minnesota River.
The river.
There's the stream, or there's the pipeline going up to the river. And I'll show you what I crossed. Okay, I went all the way up that. I came all the way down that hill and crossed that swamp there. There's a little more.
So, what kind of swamp little critters do you encounter when you're on those walks?
I don't know. I haven't taken my socks off yet to find out what's in there. There's probably leeches and alligators and coyotes and
ogres.
A Minnesota gator. I don't know, man. They must be brought in by Florida people.
Yep.
I mean, that's the thing that happened with the Florida pythons.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Now they're going up. Aren't they going up into like South Georgia and places like that, Alabama?
Here's a swamp I walked across. So right where the cursor is. And then up here, it goes all the way up the hill to our street. And our house is down this way. And I came out of a pathway about right there and came down here and walked across that swamp. And I was a little worried. Okay, that's what it looks like. It's pretty swampy. Very swampy. and that's another part of the swamp. So they built this big road. It was fucking amazing, and big, huge semis were backing down that big sharp hill there. There's more pictures, and there's a nice dead tree. Look at that. That's a big oak, really old. I don't know. Anyway, I had fun. I enjoyed myself a lot.
If you had fun, we had fun, right, Scott?
I know. If Speed had some fun, then we're all elated.
Yep.
Ooh, that's a good word choice.
Elated is a good word.
Yeah.
So is invigorated.
Apparently, Top Dog hates trees.
Hates trees?
He cut one down.
And it fell on him?
Tree.
Well, I don't know. He doesn't provide the whole story.
Sometimes hate trees too. Yep.
For
Anyway.
every tree you cut down,
It might have
you
fallen on
lose
him, but it
oxygen.
seems like he got past that since he's able to message us about it. Of course, he could still be stuck under the tree with his phone.
That'd be weird. Ooh, is that Loki?
Loki and the kitty jungle.
Did they go with you?
No, this is in our fence.
Oh,
So I always let this kitty jungle, this jewelweed here grow so that they go walk around in the kitty jungle and feel like lions, you know? And I always play the lion sleeps tonight for them while they're walking around in there.
Well, wouldn't that be more like tigers? Because tigers live in the forest.
Well, I don't have a song for the tiger.
Oh, that's
Ooh,
true.
look at this. Here's a snack. A snack. They brought him a mouse, a live mouse. And boy, did he have fun. Yeah.
Oh, the cats brought him a mouse?
Yep.
Oh.
Yeah.
They're like, here, we give you a mouse, now leave us alone.
Yep, that mouse is alive. And Snack was playing with it for hours and hours. It's his first live mouse. He couldn't quite believe that the thing actually did things, you know, unlike the his toys.
this is a neat toy.
Yeah, this is
Oh,
a
that
neat
poor
toy.
mouse.
I
You're
know.
looking at the cruelty of nature.
Poor
Yeah.
mouse.
Yeah. Yes. Mother Nature is a little bit cruel.
So what if that mouse bit Snack back? Snack is really getting big.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, they grow pretty fast.
He should have been feeding him fucking tons of chicken every day and tuna.
And then there's those raccoons.
Yeah, there's those guys.
Are you just taking videos of them every night?
Just when there were 36 out there, and I just thought I had to capture that.
He's doing reconnaissance
Is this the same
reconnaissance
video?
for when they do rebel.
Yeah, look how fat they are now. They're really doing good.
Yeah.
Pretty happy with them.
I
You
think
asked
we
the
have
veterinarian.
different words what good means speed.
Yeah, have you asked the veterinarian what size they should be prior to winter?
I don't know. I'm not.
Maybe you need to ask one. You don't want to make these things unhealthy.
Yeah.
You could be giving some of them heart disease.
Oh, I guess I can show you this one. My room's a mess, but I don't really care. Let's see.
Oh yeah, poor nerdy rodent.
Okay, here's Snack and Thor facing off. Look at that little shit.
Oh, I tell you what, that's so cute.
Oh, that's so adorable.
I love it when they do that, especially when it's a kitten who's growing up into cathood.
Oh, look at that tail going.
Yeah. No, he decided to take. Oh no, he's back.
Ooh.
He's got his ears back, and it's like every now and then Thor knocks him off that thing, and then sometimes Thor runs away. Sometimes Snack does. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Just patting each other. Like, you go away. No, you go away.
They're actually up there doing it right now as I'm playing this video. They're fighting on another cat tower.
How many cat
My
towers
room
do you
is
have?
My room is like pretty much designed for just cats. Except for you can see my monitors over there, like 55-inch monitors. But anyway, yeah.
Everyone, like this video and subscribe to see more cats.
More cats, yeah. Another one. Oh my God. Anyway, okay, guys. I think we're gonna shoot her in the head.
Spooky.
Go get on with our lives. Get on with our lives, and I think tomorrow maybe I'll have a chance to review all these papers. I got about 15 of them to review on the flagellum, and I want to say some things about biosynthetic pathways and evolution, and play that video where the B and Myers aren't believing it.
Wrong.
Yeah,
they're not buying it.
It's really interesting how they keep trying to put the burden of proof back on evolutionists. Have to show every little step of the way, and the ideas don't have to really do anything other than their stupid probability calculations that they do, which is ridiculous. So anyway, okay, boys and girls, we're going to shoot her in the head. That okay?
Shoot her in the head, folks.
Okay, thank you, Andrew. Nestleg never did show up. I did send him an email.
That's okay. Maybe next time.
Okay. Anyway, goodbye, cruel world.
Bye.